Yeah. So in this class, we are going to discuss about Selenium components. One is Selenium IDE, Selenium remote control. We can also call it as simply RC, that is Selenium RC. And the other one is Selenium WebDriver. And the fourth one is Selenium Grid. Okay. So if you can know about all this stuff, IDE, remote control, WebDriver, Grid. So that's all about Selenium. So we can say we completed Selenium. Okay, let's discuss about one by one as a definition, and going forward we'll look into each and every tool and we'll be using that. Let's first of all look into Selenium IDE. First of all, Selenium is an automation tool, right? Okay, and in the Selenium automation tool we have four components, and each component is independent to one another. Okay, and now we are going to discuss about Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE is a say record and playback tool which records what it records, which records all the user actions performed on the browser, okay? Firefox browser, not on any other browser. It's only work with Firefox. And play it back, that's it. So Selenium IDE is a record and playback tool which records all the user actions performed on the Firefox browser and play it back. For example, I open a Google page, search for Ambition online academy, and click on the link from the search results. Okay, so these are the steps I performed on the Google in the Firefox browser. And what are the steps I performed? All these steps are recorded by the Selenium IDE, and those recorded steps we can play it back. Remember that. Okay, we are going forward, we are going to install the Selenium IDE, we are going to work with Selenium IDE, but right now just remember the definition. Let's come back with Selenium RC. Yeah, others please be in mute. Selenium RC. So this is where we'll be this is where we'll be applying the programming language or our desired language to automate the web application. Okay, so in the Selenium RC we'll be using one of our known programming language, and we'll be automating the web application. And Selenium RC is deprecated. RC is deprecated is nothing but it's stopped. Okay, Selenium community is not providing any updates to the RC. It said that Selenium community said that RC is deprecated. That means that it's going to be destroyed at any moment. It's going to be destroyed at any moment, and it is also stopped giving the updates to RC. Okay, so earlier Selenium RC was a very famous tool. Earlier Selenium RC is in the market, and everybody has to code the Selenium by using the RC. Okay, now RC was deprecated, and it is and you cannot expect any more updates from the Selenium community. Now, to replace the Selenium RC, the Selenium community has introduced Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so the same definition for this also. This is where we'll be applying one of the programming language to automate the web application, and it is a trendy and in the market. Okay, so you have to give more focus, more concentration, and more attention to the Selenium WebDriver because it is in the market and it is trending now. Okay, for example, let's say you wanted to go for buying a mobile. Okay, which is of one is of Android 4 version and other one is of Android 5 version. Okay, and this is priced at I don't know, some $300, and this is also priced at $300. Okay, and this is 2 GB RAM, and this is also 2 GB RAM, and all other specification, each and everything is same, exactly same. There is no change. Okay, only the difference is the first one is Android 4 and the second one is Android 5. Okay, so people, which one they gonna buy, Android 4 and Android 5? They're gonna buy Android 5. The reason is that it is the latest version. Okay, so you can, with the latest version, you can see more options available, you can see more applications available, right? So this is the old version. In the same way, when it comes to us for the Selenium RC is the older version, and Selenium WebDriver is the one which is latest to the Selenium RC, and it is introduced to overcome certain limitations in Selenium RC. That's one thing. Now, yeah, let's say those who are coming to the Selenium for the first time, they will be using Selenium WebDriver directly without any confusion or without any, thoughts in the mind. Okay, those who already written some automation code in the RC, now they are converting to the WebDriver. Now they are upgrading to the WebDriver. Okay, so this is one point that you require to remember. Now the last one is Selenium Grid. It's a very, all these are important questions. They will ask you what is the latest version you use, Selenium RC or Selenium WebDriver. Okay, what are the Selenium components, what is Selenium Grid, what is Selenium WebDriver. So all these questions you can expect in the interview, so please focus. Selenium Grid, simply to define, it is used to distribute your test into different missions to reduce the time and make sure your application is working on different environments. Okay, let's understand this definition. Okay, just give me a second. Let's say you are having 100 test cases, 100 tests. Okay, and you are running all these 100 tests into one mission, and which is taking 5 hours. Let's say if you want to run all these tests into 1 hour, what is your approach? Can somebody put me on message? If I want to run all these tests into 1 hour, so how can I do that? So the given hint is that I'm also having multiple missions. So what do you say now? Can somebody give me an answer? How can I able to execute this 100 tests into 1 hour? If I execute this 100 tests into one mission, the execution time is 5 hours. If I want to execute all these tests into 1 hour, if I want to make the execution time for 1 hour, can somebody put me a message?
We have to use the 5 machines to execute in 1 hour.
That's absolutely right. Thank you. Thanks, Sapna. 20 tests into 5 missions. Now let's say this. That's it. Okay. But who is doing this configuration to you? Who will be helping you to make your test to run like this? Okay. So the grid is helping you. Okay. And when you execute 20 tests into different missions, 20 tests into each mission, make sure that each mission is a different combination. One mission is mac and linux mac and linux and the other mission is windows, sorry, mac and firefox, or mac and safari, and windows and chrome, and linux and firefox. So like that, make sure each machine having different combination, so that at the same time you can able to execute the test into, you know with a reduced time, as well as you can also able to make sure that your application is working on different environments. Okay, that's a use of grid. Let's read the definition once again. It is used to distribute your test into different missions. Yes, we have executing in 5 different missions for reducing the time, and make sure that your application is working in different environments. Okay, so each mission, if you can keep it in a different combination, mac and firefox, and linux and chrome, windows and ie. Okay, if you make sure that each mission is having a different combination, so at the same time you can also ensure that your application is working on different environments. So finally, these are the Selenium component. One is IDE, RC, WebDriver, Grid. Okay. So where you have to give the focus, you have to give more focus on WebDriver and not RC, because RC is deprecated. Nobody is going to use it. And even if you put more effort and learn more things on RC, nobody is going to ask you anything on that. Okay, it's over. RC is over. Nobody is using. Okay, it's a history now. RC is in history, and WebDriver is in trendy now. Okay, remember that. That's all about Selenium components.